Right, everyone, we're back. And we've got a lot to talk about because it's not been a good Halloween. In fact, my first question to you, Alex, is how was your Halloween?
Uh, the match made me to forget about Halloween and put me to bed early. That was how it was.
I've actually got a fun story because I went to this, sort of, what do you call it? A sort of maze, a haunted maze, but none of my family members actually were brave enough to go in it. So I was the only one
Okay.
going in it. And it was like
Oh my God.
literally 10 minutes, which were the equivalent of hell. I've never
Oh
lived
wow.
the 10 minutes more. Seriously, I was about to die. Like, if I'm here right now, it's a miracle, we should say. But, right, we've got quite a lot to
Okay.
say because we lost yet another big match. And it's the problem right now is that we're not gaining points in these matches. Now, the one thing I would say is the not the, we'll talk about the referee, but the one thing I would say is AC Milan were good and they just proved us that they are the best team in this area now. They play as a squad. They've got good defensive depth, good midfielder depth. They've got one of the best strikers out there, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. But the referees have a problem against us because
Hmm.
I'm gonna ask your opinion and then I'm gonna actually say something about the referee and everything. So, Alex, what do you think?
Okay. Well, I mean, you've said a lot, which is pretty much straightforward. It matches my thought process. However, I don't know how much longer we can go ahead blaming the referees, uh, because I had to sit back and realize why is it that our referees give us the cards we get? Can AS Roma players stop attacking or protesting, with the referee on every foul, every whistle? Okay, if you say the referee has something against us, come on, they got a red card. Why couldn't we
No,
do
mate.
better?
In fact,
So, yeah,
I'm not saying. The thing is, I'm not saying but I feel like there's a problem with referees, not just for Roma, but I seriously think the referees, and this is for every club in this area, need to make their rules clear. Because it can't be possible that last Sunday Juventus got a penalty which was the same exact contact Pellegrini received from Kier in yesterday's match. I feel like we really, and Mancini got interviewed yesterday at the end of the match and he said it perfectly. He was absolutely top class because he said, us players, we do not know how to react to these referees because they change rules every single time.
I agree. I agree with
Because
that.
you cannot give a penalty to Juventus last Sunday and, you not give the same penalty to Roma yesterday. You cannot give, and this is also for AC Milan fans, the red card was never a red card, but the penalty Milan received was never a penalty. So they need to make it
Yeah,
clear what a penalty actually is, what a red card actually is, and perform the same rule for every single club. Because otherwise, it's seriously not fair. Because,
absolutely.
it's not the
Yeah,
first time we lose points.
the Italian League or Serie A league of referees or referee leagues or association need to come together and have a defined refereeing
Exactly.
system across the board. But if we were to say referees against AS Roma, I would beg to disagree because when I look at the statistics, AC Milan had more yellow cards and a red card in yesterday's game. We only had four yellow cards. They had one, two, three, four, five yellow cards and a double on Hernandez, which got the red. So
Yeah.
in total, it just, I think, you know, truth be told, AS Roma is we need time. We need time to get to where AC Milan is. AS Roma needs time. We don't have all the players in synchronization That is the truth.
Yeah.
And I'm asking myself now, did we make a huge mistake selling uh, Eden and replacing him with Tammy? Did we make a mistake
That's a
with that?
question which is popping up in my head now, because you
Yes,
know, Edin Dzeko is missed, and we can say,
greatly.
because I feel like, yes, we can say the fact that Abraham still needs to get adapted, but at the same time, Abraham is a player which will never score more than 15 maximum goals per season, which, a striker needs to score. So I'm not sure. I really, I feel
Yeah,
like obviously to see and to compare Abraham to Dzeko was a big. We need a lot of time to see that. But up to now, obviously, we're not getting this impression. We're getting the impression that Dzeko is missed, and we are missing Edin Dzeko.
greatly. I mean, no doubts about it. We greatly are. And also, uh, I also think there's something the coaching team is mistaken. Now, why haven't we been playing Shomurodov, who is already who is used to and accustomed to the Serie A? He knows the league better because he's played for Genoa, I believe. Why can't we use him more? There's no harm in Tammy coming off the bench. He could be Soskaya like he was back in Manchester United days, the wonder boy. You come in and maybe you score. But let's see Shomurodov start. Maybe
Yeah.
that could help us. But the four of them up front, like Gary said, Zaniolo, Pellegrini, Mkhitaryan, and Tammy Abraham have a very poor disconnect. There is something wrong there. And I'm sorry, Mkhitaryan needs to be on the bench
Yeah,
for a
Mkhitaryan
long
is
time.
is seriously on a bad form. He
Yes,
is
yes,
atrocious,
yes,
and I would seriously
absolutely.
consider starting either El Shaarawy or Felix from every match up to now until Mkhitaryan gets
Yeah,
back fit. Because
yeah,
yesterday again we have seen Felix, the young lad, giving an impact to the match. He
yes,
dribbled, he ran in the box.
yes,
There was a potential. I don't think it was a penalty, but a chance was created with, I think it was Bakayoko dragging Felix down in the box. He
yes.
at this stage creates way more chances than Mkhitaryan.
Then Tammy, Mkhitaryan, and I mean, it's very painful. When there were times where Cards up and Zaniolo had the ball on the right hand side, and you could see Vinia screaming and pushing for the ball to be crossed on multiple occasions in the first half. That did not happen. But again, we could brood over this. It's a loss. It's a massive loss. But we're still in fourth place. We're still in the fourth place
Yeah,
position.
and
AC Milan is the best team in the league for now, and Napoli.
yeah,
But
they
yeah,
are. I actually think AC Milan are a teeny tiny bit better than Napoli. I think they're a more squad than they're more of a team than Napoli. And obviously Napoli are great as well. They've got Koulibaly, which is an absolute wall in defense. But what I got as an impression after yesterday's match is that there can be, a more balanced team than Milan. They've got a physical midfielder with Kessie. They've got players
yes,
in attack which know how to score. They've got players in defense which know how to defend. And to see this happening at Roma, we need time. And that's something, everyone is asking. Mourinho himself is asking at the end of every single press conference. But, now, the hell part of the season is over. Now is where we need to start winning every single match. Because, the next match in the Serie A, not counting Bodo Glimt, obviously, which is in the Europa Conference League, we're playing against Venezia, which is in the relegation zone. We need a win. We need 3 points. It's just key that we can't say no more than 3 points that are being a must in that match. Then, we've got Genoa away, which is, it's never an easy match, but we're now getting into that phase where we're playing clubs where this team, if they want to hope in a Champions League, if they want to focus in a Champions League next season, needs to just, I land there, boom, and I get it. I get the 3 points because you know, we need to start winning matches, because otherwise, the Champions League objective, which is the main objective of Roma this season, will vanish.
I cannot agree any better than what you just said. I know you have mentioned certain teams you need to win. Yes, you have to win these games. But I'm afraid that Bodo Glimt will surprise us on Thursday. And that's a big fear. If we start this same pattern of attacking players, we will not make it alive. We will not make it out alive on Thursday. Tammy needs to cool off on the bench. Mkhitaryan needs to be on the bench. Danilo Pellegrini. Give me a different four starters. Give
Pellegrini's
me El
injured, by the way.
Shaarawy. Oh, yeah,
Pellegrini
you
got an
mentioned that.
injury.
Yeah, an inflammation. Okay, maybe it's a blessing. Maybe it's a Mkhitaryan in that position. Maybe. I'm just saying maybe. And let's see what happens. How long is Pellegrini gone for? Just a missing a game or 2 weeks?
Sorry, Alex?
How long will he be gone for? How long will Pellegrini be gone for?
He's got a knee inflammation, so he'll definitely be off for Bodo Glimt. And I mean, it's a knee inflammation, so I highly doubt he will play the match on Sunday against Venezia. But it's another bummer, because we need Pellegrini. But once again, the reality of football is clear. We are in a bad state.
Yes.
We can't seem to grab points with top clubs. So top matches are over now, and as I said before, we need to start winning matches even without Pellegrini, because maybe start what's his name, Felix every time now.
I mean, his performances are calling for a start.
Yeah.
El Shaarawy's performances are calling for a start. So I think it may be time for Mkhitaryan and Tammy to sit on the bench. And also I'm calling on Zaniolo too. And let's see what is there. Let's try and see with Perez, Carlos Perez.
Perez he got subbed in yesterday, and he wasn't that bad.
Yeah, and it wasn't that bad. So I mean, because the goal is try and score. We want these people to score.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
man, it aches me. It really does.
Yeah. Now I want to ask you something. Do you think Rui Patricio was to blame for Ibrahimovic's goal? Like the way he positioned the ball?
I would give him 50% of the blame. Why? Because the goalkeepers are meant to structure and build a defensive wall. Number 2 is for defending of a free kick or set pieces. I mean, there was an open chance right there, and what could you really do about it? Nothing. I mean, he didn't play the ball over the wall or on the underneath the wall. He played it by the side, so there was an open space which ought to have been covered, and Rui Patricio ought to have seen that space ahead of time. So yes, he takes 50% of the blame, and 50% of the blame goes to the coaching staff who sets up, set pieces for us to defend set pieces. Yeah.
Yeah, and do you think the penalty that Milan received was a penalty?
It was not a penalty.
It was never a penalty.
Certainly, it was never. I mean, I watched that over and over, but the commentators said that I believe Zlatan's legs were hit first before the ball. That's BS. I'm not going to buy that. No, I'm not going to buy it. It wasn't a penalty.
Yeah. Also, I do think obviously I don't think it was a penalty either, the Ibrahimovic thing, and just the fact that Ibrahimovic is such a massive guy, the referee, even I think it can't be that easy for Ibrahimovic to like, I'm not sure where I'm going with this. I'm not sure whether I'm actually going with this speech, but what I'm saying is that the referees, okay, he gave the penalty at first. It wasn't the VAR who actually told him it was a penalty. He decided it was a penalty, and then he got called by VAR to actually rewatch it. But this is something I always say. Now, okay, if VAR wasn't here, the referee, the blames of referees would lower, because they're humans as well. They can make mistakes. But with the amount of money the Football Association spent to build all of these new technologies like VAR, piss off. If you think that's a penalty with VAR, bloody piss off. Because it can't be right. It seriously cannot be right.
I agree again. But again, you see, these things happen. And what can we really do about it? And I always say this: we need to respond better. I'm looking for a response. AC Milan hasn't done, much. I mean, pretty much they haven't really done much to argue with the scoreline. They played, and that is what 11 people do on the pitch. They played, and now AS Roma, has to do their own part and play. I mean, regardless of if the VAR goes against you, someone is going to tell me there's a psychological aspect to it, But Simon, I expect a reaction, a positive reaction instantaneously, But we don't have a lot of that. And like we said, this is AC Milan over here, and this is AS Roma over here.
Yeah.
We're on two different wavelengths. One team has taken a lot to build themselves up to where they are. Another team we are just starting. We're just starting from the baby bottle. We need time.
And also, I've got another good question, quite an interesting question, which is, if you compare Roma's defensive midfielder with obviously Verratti and Cristante to AC Milan's, do you find massive differences, or do you think they're obviously they're not exactly balanced, but what would you steal from AC Milan's defensive midfielder section and bring to AS Roma?
Another good question. I don't know, but I can simply say Cristante and Verratti. If those are our only options, we're doomed. We're doomed. It's over, man. I mean, we need to get out of the top 4 and think of top 6. They need to go and learn from Kessie and Benasser or whatever his name is. Yeah, they need to go learn from them. I mean, you could see the co-jointness. Kessie and Benasser always have to track back and defend, and also know how to propel the forward. Cristante was MIA. I mean, I didn't see much. Verratti, okay, a few steals here and there, but I need more. I need more, and more needs time. So we're gonna stay here and say we need more, but it's good. It's time. I could doubt that Mkhitaryan, Pellegrini, and Zaniolo close their eyes on the pitch and know where Tammy Abraham or Shomorodov would be. And that's in the past, they cannot do that at all. And at the same time, Verratti would not be able to close his eyes and throw up a pass to Abraham or Zaniolo.
Yeah.
There's a disconnect. There's a disconnect. There's a total disconnect.
And linking to this, actually, quite a few years back, I remember someone saying on Sky Sports that I think it was still when I think Mourinho was a Manchester United, if not a Chelsea manager. I remember someone saying to me, it was a pundit on Sky Sports, saying that Mourinho used this tactic in training sessions where he literally chained the players together so that they would understand how to move together, and sometimes he would blindfold them, right? So and just use the power of the voice to know where each players are. And that is something I would pay Mourinho to do at Roma in the training sessions. Because the possibly one of the most important things which Roma is lacking now is that players don't know each other well. So what I would do in training sessions now is, readopt this method that Mourinho used of blindfolding the players. Get rid of a ball for a sec. Don't use the ball. Just get it out. And for just at least a couple of exercises, just use the power of voice. Because I do think if Abraham if Abraham says, pass the ball, I think after a few training, sessions, Pellegrini knows where Abraham moves, Veretout knows where Abraham moves, and everything would look way more simple, and, we would start bagging the points against these clubs. So I seriously think it's just, if I were Mourinho, obviously I'm not Mourinho, but if I were Mourinho in training sessions, what I would do now is, for just a couple of exercises, get rid of the ball and just focus on the collaboration between the players. Because otherwise the team won't react. Imagine it being like a chemistry experiment. If you don't have very reactive elements, then it won't be an explosive reaction. We need players which know each other very well, which know the movements. Each player knows where each player moves. And from there, we can build a bang of a team. But without collaboration, without an idea of how to pass the ball, then it's very, very hard, to get the points.
Do you think, and this is adding to what you've said, and I think I have to think hard here. Do you think Mourinho is too pragmatic with his style of formation? Could we do better? Could AS Roma do better with a different style of formation rather than leaving only Abraham up front? Do you think probably a 3-5-2 or a maybe 4-4-2 formation could work for us? Because this has been Mourinho's stock in trade in terms of the way he, his formation is set up. I mean, but I don't know if he used the same thing in Milan, in Inter Milan. I don't think he did this very same style in Inter Milan. But I'm thinking maybe a change may be needed.
Okay, this is a very good question, mate. So, what I would do, and obviously these things that I'm about to say, I wouldn't use them. I wouldn't use these schemes in every single match. Like, I wouldn't, turn the 4-2-3-1 which Mourinho is using and completely change it. Because otherwise, now, after quite a fair amount of the Serie A, it's that links to another problems, which means that players need to get adapted to that.
Yeah.
So, I do think the only two things I can say is that the defensive midfielder section needs to be more solid. It needs to be more complete. And I would consider putting 3 defensive midfielders, Veretout, Cristante and Darboe, and putting only 2 players in front of them, like Zaniolo and Pellegrini. And maybe play with 2 strikers, because it means that you wouldn't leave Abraham alone every single time. And I think Abraham being left alone is a big problem, because what I'm getting out of Abraham right now is that he clearly doesn't know how to, he seriously doesn't know what to do with the ball. He does not know what the schemes are. So, putting a player next to him might be a good sign of assistance, where a bond might be built between the two of them. They can play well in attack. They can, cover a lot the box. They could cover the box really well. And I think it could be really, really, really good. Sorry to interrupt you, mate, because Kahindi Akemboni, thank you for the super chat. He's saying Abraham is top 3 in the Serie A at goal-creating actions. If Abraham isn't in the team, we would struggle even more. This team really lacks good passers, he's saying. I think the statement of this team really lacks good passers is
It did,
100%
didn't
true.
it? Yes, yes,
Because,
absolutely,
obviously,
absolutely.
if the passers would be better, then Abraham himself would be better. But I do think Abraham needs to focus a teeny tiny bit more. Because as I was saying a few seconds ago, what I'm retrieving from Abraham now is that he doesn't know what to do. He's just stuck in the box, hoping for a cross, and maybe he bullets head it in. That's Abraham's tactic right now. We need quick passes. We need Abraham to score more goals.
But also, the little chances, those little chances Abraham gets, he doesn't make the most out of them.
Yeah,
And that
yeah,
is what
yeah.
a clinical striker needs to do. Listen, to all Tammy Abraham lovers out there, I'm not bashing Tammy Abraham, or we are not bashing him. Tammy Abraham is a fantastic
Yeah,
defender
he's
when he
great.
defends the ball. He is a phenomenal defensive midfielder because he
Yeah.
tracks back. He's a great, skillful one-touch player or passer. Good. But now, he wears that number 9 jersey and he's a striker, and we're asking for goals,
Yeah.
not goal creation. In response to the viewer out there who mentioned what he said, I know he creates goals, he intercepts, but I need us to have him score goals. We need
Yeah,
goals in the
yeah,
net.
and I think I was just commenting after yesterday's match. I was saying like
Yeah.
every single player lives ups and downs, right?
Yes.
A career made up of a career can't it's
Hmm.
physically impossible for a career to look like like that, like completely
Yeah.
straight, completely high. There will be
Unless you're
ups and
Ronaldo and
downs.
Messi.
It's like a
Yeah.
roller coaster. Abraham right now is
Yep.
living those drops in roller coasters. There
Yep.
will be time for him to speed back up and be more prolific in the box. But right now he's not on great form, and we can't say Abraham is great right now, because to say that we need more from him.
Do you think Mkhitaryan, Pellegrini, Daniel, do you think they are very selfish with the ball? The three of them. Do you think they're more selfish? Uh,
I
what could those
think,
three people do better? What could they do better to help facilitate the course of Abraham?
yeah, what they can do better is get to know Abraham. And I think something else which Mourinho should do, which can benefit Mkhitaryan, Pellegrini, Zaniolo, and Abraham, is, maybe ask them to stay a teeny tiny, maybe half an hour longer each training session, which, it doesn't sound like that big of a deal. But half an hour every day, you can learn a lot. What Mourinho should ask right now is to these 4 players and the reserves of these positions, the players which play in these positions, is to stay behind half an hour, 40 minutes at the end of each training session, and just let them play and talk together. Because like this, I do think Pellegrini and Abraham might talk and understand how they want to play, and I think it's very important right now to just make Abraham and Pellegrini, Mkhitaryan, Zaniolo, Corles Perez know each other and try out their schemes by themselves. Because at the end of the day, if Pellegrini, Mkhitaryan, and Zaniolo don't work in a match, then Abraham won't work and the goals won't come. So it's a sort of machine. It's if something doesn't work, then the entire of the machine won't work. It's exactly what's going on between these 4 players. So they need to repair each gap by working together and collaborating.
Do you remember, I think, our first 2 or 3 games where Tammy and Mkhitaryan were working and bonding and assisting each other like, a pair of scissors?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, quick
uh,
passes. That's what's lacking, I think.
So why isn't that there anymore? Why are we missing that? Where did I go to? Is what I'm trying to think. You know?
Yeah, because maybe we can also, linking the fact that Pellegrini is, comes from incredible goals, and obviously he wants to keep the goals going, so he's becoming a teeny tiny bit more selfish because he's shooting more, and that means that Abraham doesn't get many balls. Zaniolo, once again, we can link his selfishness in because he wants to get back scoring. We can link Mkhitaryan's not great of a form. I think there are many factors which we can link to this problem, but they need to work together to solve these problems.
Okay, I think we've hit that fair well enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Right. The last thing we should do is um what's oh my god, what was I gonna say? Player ratings. Player ratings.
Really, if you were to ask me for player ratings, everyone gets a 5. Everybody gets a 5.
I think Rui Patricio
Everyone.
gets a lower rate than many other matches. Mancini and Ibanez were a teeny tiny bit solid. I do think Ibanez and Mancini yesterday were the only ones trying in a way.
Yeah, they'll get a 5 for me. The only person that gets a 7 would be El Shaarawy, Guillen at a 7.
Yeah.
Carlos Perez gets a 6, but everybody else
But
started
yeah,
that game
I think
gets
I
a
agree
5.
with you. I don't think there are not many. Veretout and Mkhitaryan.
No standouts.
Yeah, Veretout and Cristante are not well balanced. I think they get an average 6, if not a 5. Zaniolo needs to pass the ball, and therefore he gets a 5, an average 6. Pellegrini tried, but his match wasn't great yesterday. He deserves a 5. Mkhitaryan is on terrible form. We can give a 4 or 5 to him. Abraham needs to score more. As you said, the only positive notes yesterday were Felix, El Shaarawy, Mancini, and Ibanez for me.
Have you noticed something, right? And this is maybe off topic, but go back and look at how many yellow cards and how many times you have the likes of Manchester City or even Real Madrid, the new Real Madrid we see. How many times do you see them raging and running at referees and talking, complaining or whining? Very, very few times.
Yeah.
The ball, when you cheat them or when you put one against them, what happens? They make a statement. They go and they make a statement by putting the ball in the net.
Yeah.
They play as a team.
Hmm.
Pass, move together, open up for each other. That is what we all hope to see Roma do going forward.
And also, sorry to interrupt you, mate. Thanks for Kehinde Akemboni. Thanks for the other super chat, which says Zaniolo has 0 goals and assists in 10 starts and need more from him. Yes, 100% agree on that.
Zaniolo would score or we start scoring when he starts passing the ball.
Yeah. And, yeah, my last question to you is, which kind of links in tomorrow's stream, moving towards Bodo Glimt, but I'm going to ask this now, because I do think the mood that we're in, because of that match, might link and might, influence your answer to this question. If you were Mourinho,
go ahead. Yeah.
If you were Mourinho on Thursday, would you risk and play all the reserves like you did in Norway to allow some, reassessing to the top players and maybe not win the match? Would you risk this, or would you start the top 11 players once again on Thursday against Bodo Glimt at home with fans?
Very good question.
Because obviously tiredness and fatigue is a factor in this as well. And the fact that Mourinho has made it clear that now, the reserves will barely ever play again. He's not giving them any codes. You know something I would do if I were Mourinho? I would start quite a fair amount of academy players on Thursday. Start at least 6 academy players on Thursday. Full stop. Might be a big statement, but I do think these players, are tired, and I do think the academy players are good. They're first in their. I think they're first in their league. So I don't think they're bad. I seriously think if the academy players start on Thursday, a win can still come.
Good point. But this is my take. The back five need to rest. Sorry. The back five need to stay. When I mean the back five, I'm looking at our four defenders and goalkeeper need to stay. Or better still, Kuzato can come in for Patricio to give him a break, but he really does nothing anyway. But Karsdorp, Mancini, Pires, Vinia need to be solid and safe for Bodo Glimt games. Cristante and Vertout, I want to see something different in that aspect. Vertout can start. Cristante can be put in for me. Well, we could see Biawara back, maybe. But I know for a fact that most likely Mourinho would bring in Kambula for someone at the back. He's a Kambula fan. But Zaniolo, Pellegrini, Mkhitaryan, not going to happen. We know Pellegrini is injured already. So Carlos Perez, El Shaarawy, Shomurodov should be in, Pellegrini's spot or could intertwine with Mkhitaryan, maybe, if he decides to use Mkhitaryan. But Abraham should not start that game. Let's have Guillen up there. Guillen should be in that match.
He needs to start. So
he needs to start.
Yeah. Right. This was our match reaction. There are a lot of gaps which need to be filled, but only if collaboration and bonds between players need to start being built, because otherwise bye Champions League. And everybody, the objective for this year still remains the Champions League. Yes, we haven't won any of these top matches, but at the end of the day we're still fourth, and we've got some easier in brackets, because with Roma you never know fixtures coming up where 3 points are the main objectives. So Alex, it's been a pleasure. We will definitely bounce back. We need to bounce back. Not hopefully, but we need to. It's a statement. It's been a pleasure, mate. And I'll catch you tomorrow for the Bodo Glimt preview, which hopefully doesn't end 6-1.
Thank you, Sonny. Wow. Let's hope so. Well, thank you, Simon, and viewers out there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Please do not forget to subscribe. Hit the subscriber button. Share your likes, your comments, or hit the like button. Comment. We will respond to you. We would like your comments. And out here on the Simon Show, we keep it 100. We say it as it is. We put our feelings out there. We do not care how anyone feels. We just say it
it's real.
As it is.
It's a realistic aspect of football. So
there you go. Alrighty.
See you at.
Have a good one. All right. Bye-bye.
Right. I'm going to read a few comments and then it'll be over from me. The ref was a joke, man. Now everyone says was their contact. Never did they get the ball, or was it enough for a penalty? And if we are going off those rules, then Pellegrini was a pen as well. Yes, if you see Juventus penalty against Inter Milan, then that's definitely it. Lads, by the way, sorry for the stream yesterday. My full apologies. My connection was absolute shit because I was actually in a different region here in Italy because it was my father's birthday. So, I'm sorry, but streams are back. On Thursday, there'll be Bodo Glimt. Bodo Glimt midfielder. Bodo Glimt live stream. Roma midfielders are terrible, says Favor Aware Bar. Are we going to talk about Pellegrini having the worst game in recent memory? He was awful. Senjek was a mistake. How is Edin missed when he scored 7 goals last season? Yeah, but Edin Dzeko is still, you look at him at Inter Milan now. He's possibly one of the best attackers in the Serie A right now. We need time to grow to the next level. We are a good top 4 team. With more and more enforcements, we can rise even higher. You think you win against Bodo Glimt this time? Right about Pellegrini, who skips the derby, a penalty in favor. You take goals on the overturning. Rosato invents disadvantage gesture. Maresca, I would like to talk about football, but it is impossible. Definitely, I'm in a such romantic mood. XYZ. Lucky you. There is no creative, and defensive midfielders are not fast and good. Zaniolo has missed at least a dozen headers on the far post this season. At least can't even put them on target. Refereeing is facing suspension. Yeah, I've read that. That's big. But he deserves it. But it cannot make Roma win against AC Milan. I think Jose pair Veretout with Pellegrini play Mickey in the 10. Let Gian play left. He needs to be more dynamic. Pellegrini can spring the early counters and has enough snap to play in a pivot. But Pellegrini is injured for Thursday. So that's for the Serie A. Start Felix, start Boishmuradov, Perez and El Shaarawy. Gian not eligible to play. That's a big statement. Wow. Kian is not eligible to play in the Europa Conference League. Mate, spot on. I mean, Azara Carty, spot on. Because I actually didn't know that. That's a bummer. That's a bummer, but Mourinho will need options. It will end 5-1, hopefully to Roma. I do think Roma will win on Thursday. But, don't underestimate Bodo Glimt. Don't we dare underestimate Bodo Glimt. They'll threaten us again. Pellegrini must play wings and he would help more. Right, lads and lasses. It's the match reaction. It wasn't the best of matches. Referees was shit, but overall, AC Milan is a better team. We can definitely say that. Now, easier fixtures are coming, starting on Sunday against Venezia, which is in relegation. But obviously, before that, we've got a solid match to win to keep the lead in our group stage in the Europa Conference League at home against Bodo Glimt. Tomorrow, it will be Mourinho's preview. Not Mourinho's preview, Bodo Glimt preview live stream. So stay tuned leading up to Thursday's live watch along, which will be better. The connection is good. So if you're new here, please subscribe. Bottom right hand corner, takes 2 seconds as Alex said, and it supports all of us so much. Also, please like this live stream as soon as it becomes a video. Follow me on Instagram over here. I'll lower score the Simon Show, and if you enjoy travel, subscribe to my second channel. Link is in description below. See you all, good night, take care, and up the Roma for life, even after these defeats. See you.